Hello, I hope you're having a good day. Today we'll see. Reign of Fire. The story begins in London with a boy named Quinn Abercrombie, who at the end of the day meets his mother Karen at a subway station under construction, where she supervises the crew. Quinn shows her a letter with bad news. His scholarship has been suspended and now the cost is too high. At that moment, a worker reports they found an unknown cavity beneath the drilling site. Driven by curiosity, Quinn crawls into the hole and reaches a mysterious cave. Suddenly, the floor ignites and the walls move. He discovers it's a giant creature that spits on his face. Quinn flees in terror and tries to explain to his mother what he saw. Alarmed by her son's face, Karen quickly wipes him off, ignoring what he says. The workers sense something's wrong, and suddenly the whole tunnel shakes as the monster breathes fire. Karen runs to the lift with Quinn, and he insists there was something down there. They soon see it. A giant dragon shakes the lift. Karen hits her head and dies. That dragon was only the first. Soon after, more creatures emerge and dominate the planet. Scientists find they were behind the extinction of dinosaurs, and that their ashes caused the Ice Age. Dragons hibernate until a new species thrives, then awaken to feed, this time on humans. All efforts to stop them fail. Even nuclear weapons only destroy cities without harming the beasts. 18 years later, humanity is near extinction, and dragons are also starving. Quinn, now grown, leads a group of survivors in a Scottish castle. Though most respect him, life is hard, and not all follow the rules. When food runs low, a man named Eddie plans an early harvest. Quinn stops him, warning it's too soon and future crops are at risk. Eddie argues there'll be no future if they starve. Also, the last two groups who communicated by radio stopped answering days ago. Quinn stands firm and seizes the vehicle keys, raising tension. His best friend Creedy reminds all they're free to leave, but if they go, they can't come back. Quinn recalls he promised a special showing of the Lion King to lift everyone's spirits. Before bed, he leads a group prayer, a set of questions and answers on what to do if a dragon appears. That night, Eddie steals the keys, wakes his friend Michael, and along with others leaves in a vehicle. Quinn wakes to the sound of wind and finds little Liam scared in the hallway. The boy asks if it's a dragon, but Quinn says it's just the breeze, and lets him stay until he calms down. Meanwhile, the lookout Barlow notices birds acting uneasy. Outside, Eddie's group is already harvesting tomatoes when Barlow spots something in the sky and triggers the alarm. Everyone reacts quickly, well-trained for emergencies. Michael's wife decides to tell Quinn the truth about what's happening in the field. It's too late when birds signal danger. Eddie panics at the sight of the dragon spitting fire and runs to save his wife Rachel and son Devon, who barely escape. Michael suffers facial burns and a man named Matt doesn't survive. They barely have time to react before the dragon returns, destroys the vehicle and spreads fire all over the field. Eddie and his family are trapped in a ring of flames. Luckily, Quinn and Creedy, though angry at Eddie, decide not to abandon them. They arrive ready to fight and offer them a ride back in a military vehicle. Devon mans the gun turret, but that act costs him his life when the dragon blocks their return. Quinn avoids confronting Eddie, knowing he just lost his son, but the field is utterly destroyed. The next day, AJ hears voices on the radio and alerts Barlow, who sounds the alarm again after spotting tanks heading for the castle. Each man is handed a weapon, but Barlow finds ammo is nearly gone. Creedy admits to mixed feelings. It's risky but comforting to know there are more survivors. However, when the vehicles stop and Creedy sees they're American soldiers, his relief turns to suspicion. The leader of the newcomers is Denton Van Zandt, who claims he flew in a plane he repaired himself, though the landing cost him over 100 men. He now seeks shelter. Normally it'd be reasonable, but Quinn reminds him dragons own the skies. Van Zandt calmly shows a giant dragon tooth as a trophy and explains they found its weakness. During dusk, its vision is blurred. Impressed, Quinn orders the gates open and allows the tanks in. Creedy is visibly upset by the decision and mocks Quinn upon hearing Van Zandt is a dragon slayer. He reminds him the last one died nearly 18 years ago, when the army still existed. Even Creedy falls silent as a helicopter appears, piloted by Alex Jensen, a key team member. Van Zandt introduces Alex and explains he calls his men archangels because they jump from helicopters, without parachutes if needed, to lure dragons into traps. Creedy mocks the idea of catching a dragon with a net, but Alex doesn't laugh. Despite tensions, Quinn warns Creedy they must stay alert, as he still doesn't fully trust the newcomers. Later in the kitchen, Alex and Quinn get to know each other. Seeing Jared, the boy always with Quinn, Alex asks if he's his son. Quinn explains he found him when he was 3. He and Creedy had no shelter yet but couldn't leave the child behind. Jared spent days trying to wake his mother, not accepting she'd died. Alex says most would have left him and praises Quinn's kindness. Taking the moment, Quinn surprises her by asking what her true mission in the UK is. Alex tells him all questions should go directly to Van Zandt, the commander. Before they can talk more, Barlow sounds the alarm. Quinn feels embarrassed comparing his basic defense system to the newcomer's military precision. Within seconds, the helicopter is in the air, trucks are on the move, and motorcycles deploy strategically to triangulate the dragon's location. Today's Archangel on duty is Alvarez, who will serve as bait while Gideon and Jefferson operate the weapons. Suddenly, the dragon appears behind the helicopter, worrying Van Zandt because the third triangulation point hasn't been activated yet. Through binoculars, Quinn sees the dragon flying over the castle and one of the motorcycles heading up the mountain. Hearing the radio chatter, AJ finds out the missing biker is Quinn and immediately sets off to help him. Without the third signal, it's impossible to lock the dragon's position, risking the whole operation. Quinn reaches the summit, finds the fallen bike, and activates the final beacon. The triangulation completes just as Alex detects the dragon behind the helicopter. Without warning, Alvarez jumps into the air, followed by Gideon and Jefferson, guided by Alex from the cockpit. The dragon dives after them like a predator after prey. Gideon and Jefferson manage to shoot a net at its wings, but the dragon shakes it off as it enters a dense cloud bank. Alvarez doesn't see the dragon until it's above him and is struck down, crashing into the ground. With the bait lost, the dragon turns its attention to Gideon, who is also shot down on the mountain. Quinn answers Van Zandt via the fallen motorcycle's radio, and together they improvise a plan B. This time, Quinn volunteers as bait, racing at full speed. As soon as Quinn appears on the horizon, Van Zandt opens fire, nearly hitting him, but the plan works, and they manage to wound the dragon. However, the beast unleashes one final burst of fire before crashing into the castle. After the battle, Van Zandt shouts there's no reason to celebrate when 3 lives were lost to kill a single dragon. Quinn agrees and attends the cremation of the fallen soldiers, but reminds the outsider that this castle is his home and many friends rest there. This time he demands clear answers about their true reason for arriving. Van Zandt finally tells the truth. He and Alex have killed over 200 dragons, all females. His theory is that there's only one male who fertilizes them all, so killing him would end the threat. Based on their research, the male is in London, so they cross the Atlantic to find him. Quinn refuses to join the mission, convinced that each London expedition has drawn dragons back, destroying other shelters. He refuses to endanger the community, leading to a heated argument with Van Zandt. Suspecting more behind his refusal, Alex asks if something happened in London. Quinn tells her about Karen's death and hints that the dragon who killed her was the male. Before continuing, AJ interrupts to warn him that Van Zandt is speaking in the courtyard and already convinced 4 people to join his mission. Quinn arrives furious, punches Van Zandt, and the two fight. The American soldiers break them apart when Van Zandt loses control. Alex, moved, gives Quinn a vial of medicine for his wounds, while Van Zandt keeps recruiting. Things get worse when Quinn catches Jared trying to sneak off to join the Americans. He begs him to reconsider and promises to pass him leadership of the castle one day, as planned. But Jared says none of that matters anymore, and now he wants to become an archangel. While Van Zandt and his team head to London, Quinn goes to the field to salvage what he can. To his relief, Jared shows up, saying he changed his mind. When the boy complains about the dead dragon's smell, Quinn explains that it's the only scent dragons avoid, so to him it's like perfume. That night, Quinn returns to the carcass and finds an egg inside, confirming it was a female. Meanwhile, Van Zandt's convoy arrives in ruined London. His men grow uneasy, seeing rubble made of groups that tried reclaiming the city before. Suddenly, a fireball breaks the darkness. With no time to triangulate, Van Zandt orders an attack. Dusk is long gone, so now they're the ones who can't see well. Seconds later, the male dragon attacks mercilessly, engulfing the convoy in a massive fireball. Alex panics upon realizing no one is answering the radio. Back at the castle, AJ hears the frantic calls and knows something terrible happened. Alex returns and finds Van Zandt among the few survivors. Devastated, he confirms it was the male dragon and didn't even need a second attack to destroy them. He recalls Quinn's warning that the dragon always follows those who disturb him and concludes the castle is in danger. Quinn is still outside when the dragon arrives and blasts fire, shattering all windows on one side. With no time for alarms, panic spreads and everyone flees chaotically. When Quinn reaches the gate, the castle is already in flames and the dragon watches from the rooftop, triumphant. Only when the beast flies away does Quinn run in yelling for his friends. Jared appears with a fire extinguisher and Creedy follows. Together they try to lead the children to the basement. Quinn wants to go back for those still missing, but Creedy offers to go instead. Just then, the dragon attacks again. The two friends barely say goodbye before Creedy is engulfed in flames. Quinn slams the door shut and hits the wood in despair, but holds back when he sees the terrified children. Hours later, Van Zandt and Alex return with the few surviving soldiers and help evacuate the basement. Van Zandt admits Quinn was right, and the castle is ruined, but insists he hasn't given up on killing the male dragon. To everyone's surprise, Quinn decides to face his fears and close that chapter, leaving Jared in charge of the community. Together, Quinn, Van Zandt, and Alex plan one final attack. They'll take advantage of dusk to fly by helicopter following the river into central London. The city is destroyed and full of dragons, which makes Alex hesitate, but Quinn assures them he knows the underground of London perfectly, and that gives them an edge. As they proceed, they notice the dragons acting strangely. They don't seem to have spotted the intruders, but also aren't attacking. Suddenly, the male dragon appears in the sky and, desperate from hunger, snatches one of the females, resorting to cannibalism. Unintentionally, this gives the humans a chance to move forward unseen. Taking advantage of the chaos, they make their way through the tunnels until reaching the old subway where Karen died. The plan is to lure the male and shoot explosive arrows straight into its chest. Quinn climbs the lift platform and freezes at the memories, but Van Zandt encourages him to turn that pain into fuel for revenge. It works, and Quinn regains his resolve to go up to the surface. Van Zandt decides to split the group to increase their chances. When the dragon appears, each takes position, but Quinn realizes he's lost the arrows. Alex, nervous as she faces a dragon for the first time, listens to Van Zandt's instructions. Shouted from the top of a tower, the dragon charges at her and is within Van Zandt's range, but at the last moment it dodges and breathes fire straight at him, destroying his arrow. With no escape, Van Zandt lets out a war cry and jumps at the dragon, which devours him in a single bite. Shocked and horrified, Quinn and Alex abandon the original plan and regroup. The dragon, injured but still dangerous, keeps spewing fire as it chases them. While fleeing, Alex spots one of the lost arrows and shows it to Quinn. He runs to prepare it, but time is running out. Alex decides to take a risk and stands before the dragon, firing repeatedly to distract it. At the perfect moment, Quinn takes aim and shoots the explosive arrow straight into the dragon's mouth, just as it's about to breathe fire. The arrow detonates, blowing the monster apart from within. With the alpha dragon dead at his feet, Quinn stands frozen, shocked and relieved. He finally had his revenge and, at the same time, saved humanity. 3 months later, Quinn helps build a radio tower when Jared arrives excited. They've just received a signal from France. There are survivors looking to contact the leader of the community. Quinn smiles and tells Jared it's his turn to speak with them. He's ready to lead. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. Also, comment below your favorite part. Well, see you next time. Bye.